Blake Thompson, how you doing, young man? How's it going for you, bud?
Man, it's going great. How you doing?
Man, I definitely cannot complain at all. Look, I've been consuming, a bunch of your content, and we're going to get into some of this because we're going to be talking about your content creation process, like how it is that you're doing that, why you're doing that. And I saw interesting, I watched a couple of your videos today as well. And it's funny because you're like three generations behind me, but we have like the same mindset about some of the stuff. So it's real interesting to me for that, from that perspective. What is it that actually got you into creating content? And then we're going to go into like what actually it is that you do. But how did you actually get into creating content around what it is that you do?
Man, honestly, I started out as a videographer, and oddly, it was only about a year ago. I've always been into like taking videos and stuff like that, but this year, or I'd say now, probably about 15 months ago, if we're gonna get specific, I picked up a camera and just started making videos. I was working out, making some videos about stuff like that, and then it opened up a few opportunities for me. I met Arturo Johnson through that, and then I also went and I did a few other gigs. I went out to like Mexico and filmed on a cruise and did a few other things for a few different companies. And I seen like the high ticket while doing something creative and cool. And I seen the opportunity. So that is where I started, is like as a videographer, and it honestly has shifted into more of a consulting thing. I started like creating an agency where I was helping with video services. So started as a video or a videographer, moved to like a creative agency, and then I got caught up in a lot of fulfillment and realized, okay, I just should move more into like the consulting side of things. So that's kind of where I'm at now.
Yeah, an agency really kind of bogs you down,
Yeah.
as you already know because you tried it. I've done it, been involved with companies that do it, and it does kind of get you bogged down a lot as far as the fulfillment goes, with that. So now where you are, let's flash forward 15 months, basically since you kind of began this journey. In 15 months, you went from $0 to $14,000 in the past, what, 9 days?
Well, it's definitely been a lot more than 14,000, but in the last 9 days, I've been able to do 14,000 bucks.
That's stupid money. You're what, 19? How old?
Yeah, I'm 20. I'll be 21 in May.
Okay, you'll be 21 in May. You just made over 14K in the last 9 days. Since you started this whole process, what does that revenue actually look like for you over the past 15 months in total, do you think?
Um, in 15 months, I wouldn't be able to total it up, but it's right about 72 over the last six.
Some people don't. Most people don't make that in a year. I think the average salary in the U.S. is something right around 40 to 50K a year, and is it, it's like, do you make more than your mom and dad? Like,
No, 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 I
all your
don't.
brothers and sisters?
And see, this is the weird thing is what kind of is mind-boggling to some, but normal to me is the people that I'm surrounded by. They all make such great money. Like my dad makes about 400 grand a year, and my mentor is doing stupid money, almost doing that in a month. And it's like, I am surrounded by people who are doing such crazy numbers, and my mind has always been set on $100,000 a month. And for me, $10,000 a month was a milestone,
Yeah.
and I didn't even truly get as excited about it as maybe I should have. Or I know that a lot of other people would be a lot more excited about doing $10,000 in a month. And for
Yeah.
me, I was like, man, I just need to keep going. Like I got to get to the next one because truly, I guess it's a never-ending race. But yeah, it was pretty awesome to say the least. I've been working really hard at this, and I built this brand Status 10, and I've kind of like put it behind me as Blake, and everything's been really, really good to say the least. And I guess that all just comes with conscious effort. I'm always putting in the work. You come to me and my day, and this is what most entrepreneurs don't talk about, but like my day is at the desk. I'm working my ass off every single day.
Yeah.
And so I can't say that I'm surprised that I got to this point in the time that I did.
Well, yeah, it's all about that work. I mean, and because you come from running like an agency model as well, we do as well. Getting people to actually do the work is like the other thing. It's like, how are you ever going to get a result if you never dive into actually doing the work? Like, people pay you for, they hire you for consulting, they hire you for coaching, and then you coach them, and then you come back on the next call. Well, did you get all that stuff done? Oh, no, I'm still trying to work. I'm like, it's so frustrating. Yeah,
Well, so you're asking me how like how I handle that, or
yeah,
yeah. So to be completely honest with you, with the agency model, I had so much that it's the same thing. You run into that exact same problem where you're telling people to get things done, and it's just rather than it being a customer, you're telling an employee what to do, right? And then when they're not getting it done, you're frustrated with them, but it's different because you pay them. Where when
yeah,
it's your customer, it's the other way around. They're paying you. So you're a little less frustrated when they're not getting the work done because it's not your fault. Like they're paying you so that you can help them. And if they're not implementing the steps that you're giving them, then whose fault is that, right? It's not yours, it's theirs. And
exactly.
so that's kind of something I really have enjoyed too with this new model that I've been working with is like me being able to give them guidance, know that what I'm helping them with can still drive the exact same result, right? They're getting the same result, but I take less time myself. They are getting the knowledge so that when they leave me, they can do this time and time again, right? It's not something that they leave and they no longer have me. Like they pay me, it's done, it's built. And if you want my team to continue to hold on and hang and make the edits for you, then awesome. So it's just a lot simpler this way.
Yeah. What is it that, if we dive into this now, like, what is it that you actually do for folks? What is Blake all about? What does the company do?
Yeah, so we literally just help coaches and consultants build their personal brands. And the way that we do it is we just utilize a social funnel. And so obviously we got to have content. That's the backbone of it all. But I take these people through front to back, like what it takes as a coach and consultant to build a personal brand that like actually starts to bring you money, generate leads, and work for you.
Awesome. Because at the end of the day, I mean, any business, any entrepreneur, if you don't have leads, you don't have a business. So how are we going to
Yeah,
drive those leads? How are we going to drive that traffic, right? It's like everybody wants to make more money, but it's like in order to make that money, you've got to have somebody to talk to, and you've got to have people that want to talk to you, right? And
exactly.
so that's a whole thing, behind that. I know that recently you just spoke on stage for the first time. 22-year-old. I'm sorry, I just got to call you a kid. I'm sorry. I have kids older than you,
I'm
like
20
a
actually.
decade. You're 20, right? It's like I've got kids over a decade older than you. So it's not to talk down at you
No, that's awesome.
or anything. But what was that like for you actually speaking on stage to people that are like at a certain level where they're making 30, 50, 100K or more a month? What was that experience like for you for the very first time?
It was a really cool experience. Like I was really grateful to have gotten to do it. The truth is, it felt like something that was just part of my job. Like as
Okay.
a business owner in the position that I am, it just felt like something that needed to be done. I needed to talk about it. I have a message that needs to be spread, and I think that there's many more ways to do it rather than just social media. I'm a firm believer in
Yeah.
social media, but a personal brand is behind you, and I'm going to take that to the stage. I'm going to take that to the camera. I'm going to take it to the podcast, like the mic, you know what I mean? Wherever I can, my personal brand is going to be back in that. And so the event was awesome. It was just one of many, and I was really excited to get to do it. It was an awesome experience. But there's definitely going to be more.
Yeah. I'm wondering here because you doing that and speaking on stage, and then also all of the things that you do pretty much consistently on a daily basis. I know when I talk to some people that are your age, like 18, 19, 20, all the way up to 25, they're worried about their age as far as being able to provide something in the marketplace that people will actually gravitate to, pay them good money to do for them. How is it that you were able, or did you ever have an issue with, well, nobody's going to listen to me. I'm only 20 years old. You know, did you ever have to fight any of that? I hope you're enjoying the show, and I wanted to just take 30 seconds and tell you about Podcast Pro. It is a community of podcasters just like you that are looking to start, build, and grow their own podcast. If you want to see what it's all about, just click the link in the description for Podcast Pro. Now, back to the show.
So that's kind of the main reason why I went on stage, was because I knew that I kind of made, and especially I ain't got no facial hair, right? So I definitely look very young. I have people that come to me something like, "What are you, 16 years old?" And it's okay. I'm grateful to be young, but it is something that I've run into, and I don't let it bother me. I actually let it drive me, because when people see a young, motivated, hungry, driven young individual, they tend to gravitate towards them. And so me choosing to go on stage was something that I did so that I could build another level of authority and show people like, hey, I'm not just some kid behind a screen. I'm actually about business, and I know what I'm talking about, and I can help you. So if you're 40, if you're 30, if you're 20, whatever age you are, like, we can work together, and don't be afraid to come work with me because I'm young, when the reality is I do know what I'm doing, and I've been working in this space for plenty enough time to be able to help people, and I have results that I can show forth, you know? So my age hasn't been something that has been a problem, I would say. Not yet.
Yeah, well, now you have the receipts, right? You have the receipts of, you know, what it is that you're actually talking about doing, and helping people with.
Right.
I know that one of the and I mentioned this right at the top when we started, and I watched a couple of your videos on your YouTube channel. We're going to link to all of your social media in the notes too, so that people can get in contact with you. But in one of your videos that resonated with me, right? You were talking about not copying everybody else that's in the space. And I've been thinking about that for like a long time. Everything looks the same. Everyone's using the same font, the same thumbnails, the same, all of that. What made you actually start thinking about that and wanting to go in another direction to show people that they actually need to be unique and not a copycat?
It sounds kind of silly, but I was spending like an hour and a half one day scrolling through videos, looking for ideas, thinking, which of these videos do I want to recreate, and how am I going to make it in my own way?
We're told to do that, Blake. We're told by all the gurus on
Exactly.
YouTube, you know, to do exactly that.
I know. And see, that's kind of where I was at. And what I ended up doing was I set the camera up and I filmed myself talking about what I knew. It came out, it felt a lot more authentic, felt like something I actually wanted to see. And I realized after that, like, why do I need to look for these ideas when I can create something authentic? People can come to me, they can watch it, they know that what I have to provide is real. And
Right.
I am a creative at the end of the day. Like I said, I was a videographer when I started. So I'm a stickler when it comes to my content. I want it to all look clean, and I get upset sometimes when it's not. But the truth is, it doesn't have to look ugly to leave like a valuable message without being faked. Like, I don't put together any more scripts, and I haven't since you've seen that video. All my videos also, I think, feel a lot better if you listen to them. They flow a lot better. They're getting more views, and I think that the traction with those are really going to pick up a lot more sooner than later. And I think it's going to be a trend that you see among Instagram too, because everybody is posting the same thing. You said to yourself, I'm sick of it. I'm sure you're getting sick of it. I don't want to continually see the same Alex Hormozi style reels. But
they market it that way, right? It's like, hey, you can get the Alex Hormozy style, captions. Just use this app, or, Grant Cardone, or, Layla Hormozy.
like
It's like,
I
why
hire
are you trying to?
editors and they don't even know. Like I'm like, you're not an editor. You only know how to put captions and these. They only know how to do the Alex Hormozy style. And I'm like, well, man, I'm sorry. I've been editing videos for a very short time, but I've got a lot more experience than just the Alex Hormozy style. I can put together an incredible video, and I know what it takes to make a good video. So every time I hire an editor, actually, I train them because I want things done my way, and I know that I've got the skills, and I just take them through what I know. And if they're not up to like the quality that I think they should be, then I'm typically looking for a different editor.
Yeah. See, I mean, I need to get with you on hiring an editor here pretty quick, to do some of the stuff for me, because it's like getting bogged down. Because you got me on this going down this rabbit hole of CapCut like a couple of weeks ago, right?
Yeah.
It's like I started using CapCut and I was looking to see how other people were using it, so I like copied that, and then I was like, well, I'm not going to just copy their style or whatever. Okay, they're using these transitions. I'm going to use this transition. Like, this is my transition that everybody will identify with me. These are my fonts. These are how I animate my texts or whatever. It's like, because I have to make it unique, because I don't want to look like everyone else. It's like, even you notice like my background, like you probably saw at one point I was using a black background. But it's like everybody's using a black background.
Yeah.
So I have like 85 of these daggone backgrounds. Like, I'm gonna just choose another one. So
That's why I got the light. I just switch it up.
Exactly.
Amazon, corner light red.
That's it. I mean, it's like, so that uniqueness that needs to be there. I think a lot of people are using that. Are losing out when they're afraid to do something different, right? Because
Right.
at the end of the day, I think you'd agree, it's not the background, it's not the captions, it's not the music, it's the content
It's
that matters.
you. It's really you. I mean, and I've been talking about this a lot, and it's the story. I mean, all of us have our own stories. We've got a unique story, and your content, your style, it all ties to it. It's like the clothes that I wear, they fit me, they fit my style, and my tattoos. Like, some people have tattoos, some people don't. Some people want to get a nose ring, and all these little things is what defines a person and their story, and their content is just the same. I look at content like clothes.
It's a part of your brand. It's a part of who it is that you are and what it is that you do. It's like, my whole thing is like, I think for probably the past 6 months, I always have on a hat, right? It's like I've got some sort of different type of hat on. It's like, that's just me and how I show up. I'll have on mostly, well, I got on a Sean John t-shirt right now, but you'll usually see me in like a polo style shirt or some, but it's like, just who Earl Hall is, right? Who Blake is. If people don't know who you are, they're never going to trust you,
I'm black
and
t-shirts. I wear a black t-shirt every single day.
yeah, it's like, I see. I thought about like doing something like, because, well, first of all, you don't have to think about what to put on,
Ever.
right? Ever. You just don't. I've got a
They're
bunch
all
of t-shirts.
mediums and same brand.
Exactly.
This hoodie
Exactly.
right here, I have
Yeah,
this hoodie in 6 different colors.
exactly. Well, see, and then that goes to something else when we talk about mindset of like wanting of wealthy people as opposed to people that aren't wealthy. It's like, customarily, people that aren't wealthy try and look wealthy, so they spend money on Sean John t-shirts, right? And
I just believe in moving in efficiency, right? I believe that
yeah,
I totally believe that success loves speed. And in the mornings, I grab a black t-shirt, I put one of these hoodies on, and I don't think, right? Unless I got a nice event, I got to put on a suit or something like that. And then those days, I'm like, see, this is why I do this, because I'm stressing my office so heavily, right?
exactly.
But I just believe in keeping everything super simple. My room, everything around
Yeah.
me is so minimal. Like, I know where everything sits. I got everything in reach. I just keep everything minimal. I believe in efficiency.
Yeah, absolutely. And that makes your content creation that much easier to create because you're not stressing about, okay, what do I look like on camera?
Well,
It's just
and look at my content. I only use one font, like not one font, but like I don't use all the extra effects and the edits and the transitions and the all that other stuff. Like my content reflects me too. It's very minimal.
yeah. And that's important with like let's just look at maybe the next 90 days that you're about to enter into. What are some of the things that you're actually looking to do, maybe add on or different to what it is that you've been doing now?
So in the next 90 days, I'm actually moving to Hawaii on May 17th. So
Oh,
yeah, I am gonna be moving there with my fiance. We're gonna be moving into a condo, and so I honestly, right now, sitting at the number I'm at, I want to hit $30,000 a month, but for some odd reason, I just think that I can do $50,000 a month. So I'm shooting for that. That's my new number as of this morning.
wow. If you had to give somebody your age or my age, like some advice, they're an entrepreneur. They might be stuck at like 5K. They might be stuck at 7, 8, 10K. What would be some advice that Blake would give them is like action steps, like 2 or 3 action steps? Just start doing this. What would you say to them?
Two, whoa,
That's all right.
two really important things. And it's really, really this simple. Do more work. I think that all of us can do more work. There's one thing that you're not doing that is inside of your business that you could do that's going to move your business forward. For me, that was direct outreach. Like for the longest time I had a business, it was not getting any like customers. And I know that I needed to be doing outreach in the beginning in order to leverage testimonials and things like that. But I just didn't do the outreach. And when I did, I got the result. So all of you that are out there, you need to be doing more work. Make sure that like if there's one thing inside of your business you can do it. And two, I think if you don't have a coach, you need a coach. I mean, you need somebody like a mentor, somebody above you that's pushing you, somebody who's gone through it, somebody that can guide you through it. Because I mean, you don't have to be alone. Like if you're going through something inside of your business, I promise you somebody else has too. And for you to sit and stress it and try and figure it out on your own is just useless when you can pay somebody to do it. And that ties right back into like saving time, and time is money, right? Like efficiency. Like if you're making the money to pay for a coach and you can afford it, like just do it because it's going to help you. The best thing that I've done this year has been investing in my knowledge.
Yeah, it is definitely something have been a firm believer in for over 2 decades at this point. It shortens the learning curve. It gets you to a result quicker, but so many people are afraid to invest. And I don't think that's because they don't believe in coaches. I think they don't believe in themselves enough
Yeah,
to think they can actually do it.
I running a consulting business, I tell people that on the calls because they know working with me that if I've been able to get a result for other people, there's no reason why I shouldn't be able to get it for them unless they can't
Right.
commit to what it takes, you know? And I tell people that I'm like, look, you know that what I'm going to do is going to work. So what do you think that you won't be able to do that's going to keep you from getting there? And typically that's the underlying objection. And when you can break that down and figure that out, there's really no reason, unless these people just simply can't afford it, that they don't want to like move forward, because it's like, it's you. If it's not me, then it's you. And I always believe that if there's a problem or something that's happening inside of my business, like it isn't anybody else's fault but me.
Yeah.
And so I think that's something too for everybody to like keep in mind is if you do run a business and you've got a problem. Somebody told me this once, that if you've got problems inside of your business, it's likely not business problems, they're likely personal problems that are affecting your business. And so that's what I would say is just dial in those things and get it sorted out, and that's it really.
Yeah. And just go for it. Well, Blake Thompson, no P in
No
Thompson.
P.
No P. We're going to link to every social media channel you have down there, and websites and all that kind of stuff. But man, I just want to thank you for being on the Earl Hall Show with me today, dude. I'm super impressed with you and what you've been able to accomplish, not only at such a young age, but in such a short amount of time to be able to get there. So thanks so much, my friend, for being on the Earl Hall Show.
No, thank
Definitely
you.
appreciate it. Not a problem, man. Well, look, we'll probably have you back on at some point, but we'll stay in touch and we'll
Yeah,
take
we'll
it
have
from there,
to.
man. Absolutely. Thanks again, my man.
No, thank you again, man. And I definitely want to say like what you've got going on is really cool, and I respect it. And I want to have like I'm gonna have to come back on here, like when I'm back in Hawaii. I'll let you know kind of where my goals are at and what
Oh
what
yeah,
we've
man. You got to
reached.
be sitting out on the balcony with the palm trees and the ocean in the background, living that laptop lifestyle. We got to do it,
For
right?
sure. And I'm gonna be actually hosting a mastermind into 2024 on Oahu. So I'm gonna try and get as many people out there as possible. So maybe you can get out there.
All right, man. Well, look, definitely wishing you the best, and hey, we'll see you next time.
All right, man. Peace.
Hey, you could be a guest on the Earl Hall Show so that you can share your story and your experiences so that you can reach a wider audience. Just click the link in the description, Be on the Earl Hall Show, to learn more.